Chosen vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Drew Tube, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need each and every vessel to hit that like button, to hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the Galactic family, the GCVs, and Drew Nation. Let's get right into it. They want to discourage you from speaking up on the treatment they handed out to you, but you don't have to. You don't have to not speak up on anything that you don't want to. The things that happen to you, you have to look at it from a point of getting over it. You can't allow it to make you a victim. You can't allow yourself to feel victimized because of what happened. When you speak up, when you speak your truth, it gives you power. That's why they don't want you to speak up on it, because when you speak up on it, it gives you clarity. You're able to let things go because you're not speaking up on it from a point of being victimized. You're speaking up from it on a point of figuring out ways to get over it, figuring out ways to find solutions, and figuring out ways to help other people. And that's what life is all about. If you can go through something and you can speak on it in a way to where it helps other people, it emboldens other people, it strengthens other people, it allows other people to know that they're not alone. All right, so that makes other people feel validated, that makes other people feel more sure of themselves, and it makes people feel more confident, because it's like, hey, somebody went through what I went through, they're still here, they're able to do something with their lives, they're able to move forward, they were able to create something for themselves out of it. All right. They don't want you to speak up on it because it's going to make them look bad and it's going to make them feel bad, but that's their business. All right, that's their problem. People who don't want you to speak up on it, those are the same people who would continue to treat you that way and not expect you to do anything about it. But when you speak up on things, it brings clarity into your life. It allows you to look at it from a positive point of view. All right. Instead of just dealing with it in your mind, you have to get these things out of your chest. You have to get these things out of your head, and you have to find a positive way to do it. All right. And a positive outlet for you to get things out of your mind and off your chest is to speak on it from a point of strength, from a point of being victorious, because it's something that you overcame. It's something that you went through. So why not share it with other people who are going through the same thing or who have went through it, so that way they can realize that, hey, I can be victorious. I can create something for myself. I can become what I want. I can do something positive with my life. Just because this happened to me, it's not the end of the world. Just because I went through some type of abuse, or I had to deal with narcissistic people, or whatever it is you had to deal with, you can still feel like a victorious person. All right. And that's what it's all about, feeling like a victorious person, not allowing things to make you feel held down or strapped down or lost. If somebody is able to take their situation and make something positive out of it, and if somebody's able to take their situation and not be hurt by it anymore, if somebody allows themselves to take their situation and make it turn them into a better person instead of a bitter person, that person should speak on their situation. But the thing is, they don't want you to find your power. All right, they want you to stay a victim. They want you to stay within a weak mindset. They want you to continue to feel that it's your fault that these things happen. And when you speak on these things, it gives you clarity, and you realize that, you know what, this wasn't my fault. I went through this. I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm not going to allow it to hold me down. I'm going to keep fighting. But it did happen. And just because it happened with an ED on the end doesn't mean I don't have the right to speak on my experience. All right. It doesn't mean I have to just let it go. Forget about it. You should forget about it, but you should not forget about the strength that came along with it. You should not forget about the opportunities that it created for you to become a better person. All right. When you come out of these things and you come out on top and you're still alive and you're still here and you're still breathing, take that from the situation. Don't take the hurt, don't take the pain, don't take the anger or the aggravation from the situation, because when you do that, that shows growth. They don't want you to grow. They want you to stay stuck where they left you, and they want you to stay stuck with how they treated you. But that's not what you're going to do. You have the power to take what happened and allow it to make you into somebody that is a better person. And that is going to destroy these people. That's going to hurt them, because sooner or later, once you get through the pain, once you get through the hurt, and you no longer allow yourself to be brought down or pulled down or destroyed by the pain or the hurt, you are showing that this doesn't affect me anymore. I'm not going to allow this to affect me anymore. I'm stronger than what happened. I'm stronger as a result of what you tried to do to me. All right. I'm stronger as a result of what you tried to do to me. I have the power to get over this. This is something that I experienced, but I'm not going to allow it to turn me into a victim. I'm not going to allow it to turn me into somebody that is depressed or sad or hurt. I'm going to move on with my life as a result of this. I'm still going to have a happy life as a result of this. I'm not going to allow what you did to make my life worse. I'm not going to allow what you did to make my life terrible. I'm going to move forward with my life. I'm going to enjoy my life. Whatever I have to do to heal, I'm going to figure that out. Whatever I have to do to move forward, I'm going to figure that out. Whatever I have to do to become a better person, I'm going to figure that out. And it's all about not giving these people the power to stay stuck with what they did. It's all about forgiving yourself for what they did. Forgive yourself for the people that tried to hurt you. You don't have to forgive them. When you don't, you could just say peace be unto them and then let it go. When things come into your mind because of stress or trauma, you have to remember that I don't have to deal with that person anymore. Just because someone did something to me, just because someone treated me a certain way, just because someone wasn't a good person, just because someone tried to cause me some type of problem or issue or stress, if it's in the past, I can leave them in the past as well. All right. You can deal with the situation without dealing with the person and the negativity that came along with it. You could deal with the situation from a position of power instead of a position of being a victim. And that's why they don't want you to talk about it, because sooner or later you're going to figure that out. You're going to come to that conclusion, right? And they don't want you to talk about it because it's going to make them feel bad about themselves, but they didn't care about how you felt. So they're real selfish, and all they care about is themselves, and that's okay. That's why you leave them in the past. All right, you leave them in the past and you forgive yourself for allowing yourself to feel bad about their treatment. You forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be hurt over what they did. You forgive yourself for allowing yourself to feel pain over what they did. Forgive yourself. And that way, when you think about the situation, you don't have to deal with them, because the more you think about them in terms of what they did and how things happen, you're going to continue to keep yourself stuck in a cycle, in a loop of trauma. All right, you're going at that point, you're mentally going to keep bringing yourself through what they did. And this person is off living their life, being happy, not being miserable. This person is off not even thinking about you or worried about you. And it's not right, but that's usually how these things happen, because these people don't care about anybody. And they have the right to not care about anyone. They have the right to not care about us. If they didn't care about us in the first place, just because they did something to us and it affected us a certain way, or it made us feel a certain way, they're still going to be uncaring and unloving and not care. And that's cool. That is totally fine, because At that point, we have to deal with ourselves. We have to deal with ourselves. If someone affected us a certain way, if someone did something that wasn't right, if someone treated us a way that we didn't like, or behaved towards us a way that wasn't right or was wrong or was abusive behavior, at the point to where it's in the past, leaving them behind will do you a big service. So leave these people behind and focus on how you feel and focus on how you're dealing with what happened. The other person doesn't have to be involved. They were already involved and it didn't work out. It didn't do anything good for you. So why continue to keep bringing this person back up in your life? Why continue to keep thinking about that person? Once you get over the trauma, once you get over the hurt, once you get over the pain, because I'm not telling you to minimize your experience. I'm not telling you what happened didn't happen. I'm not telling you that that person is not a bad person, but at some point or another, we have to focus on ourselves, and we got to leave these people in the dust. We got to leave these people in the past, and we got to not care about those people. So the best thing for you to do is to focus on yourself and to forgive yourself, because that's going to cut them off. And that's the best thing you could do, is cut people off who, number one, you never wanted in your life. Number two, you didn't want anything to do with them. Maybe they tried to force themselves into your reality. Maybe they were a bad person. All right. Maybe they did you some kind of harm. But the best thing you could do is to not deal with them and just focus on yourself and focus on yourself getting over the situation. All right. You're going to want to get over these things, and you're going to want to forget the things that are behind. You're going to want to forget the things that are in the past, because that's going to allow your peace to last. That's going to allow your joy to last. That's going to allow you to keep your happiness, and instead of keeping their crappiness. Because no matter how um, these people are living their life, or no matter how happy they seem, the reason why they try to destroy your happiness is because still at the end of the day, you have something that they want. So no matter how happy they are, or no matter how happy they may seem, if you see this person, they're not really as happy as they could be, because they're not happier than you. That's why they had to try to bother you and try to mess with you, or try to get you out of that place, or try to destroy your life, or whatever they were trying to do. But the thing is, they didn't have the power to do that. And you have to get back up, and you have to realize that at some point or another, I'm doing this to myself. Because if what happened is in the past, and the only way you still feel how you feel about it is because you're thinking about it, you can change your mind and you could think something different. That's where your power lies. That's where you take your power back from these particular people who tried to ruin your life. So the fact that they tried to ruin your life, that happened, that was real, that's valid, but you have the power to let that go, and you can work on yourself at this point. And working on yourself means getting over what they did. Working on yourself means forgiving yourself, so that way you can X them out of the equation, because they never belonged in it in the first place. So you X them out the equation. All right. You become somebody who's victorious. You look at yourself as somebody that's victorious. All right. You went through that. You survived that. And you have to forgive yourself for not handling the situation that you should have. All right. Whatever you were missing, pray about it. You could talk to God about it. You could see yourself with it. Visualize yourself being the type of person that can handle certain situations and handle certain people, because you can. You have the power to handle every situation. All right. God put everything in you to handle any kind of person or any type of situation. All right. If you think that you aren't able to do that, that's your own mind. That's your own thinking. You're the only person that didn't believe in themselves or stop themselves from not being able to handle that situation in a way that would have worked itself out better for you. So for the future, so you don't keep being a victim, or you don't keep handling situations in ways that don't work out for you, you have to see yourself as being more than enough and more than able to handle anything and everything that comes your way, because you do. All right. You do. You know you do. All right. You have the power to handle everything and anything that comes your way. So I need you to believe that. I need you to believe that about yourself. I need you to say that to yourself about yourself. All right. When you look in the mirror, say those things to yourself. When you feel certain ways about yourself, tell yourself how to feel. All right. When you feel feelings that you don't want, you can get rid of those feelings by eliminating them. You can eliminate ways that you don't want to feel that aren't conducive to how you want to live your life. All right. You can eliminate those negative feelings that you don't want by telling yourself, you know what, those feelings don't exist. They're not real. What you feel is not real. I'm going to program myself and I'm going to tell myself how to feel. I'm going to program myself and tell myself how to think. That's how powerful your mind is, because your mind was that powerful to make you think that. Your mind was that powerful to that you looked at the surroundings and you thought you may not have been able to handle certain people, certain situations, and certain things. That's the only reason why you didn't handle those people, those situations and those certain things in the first place, is because you doubted yourself. And there was something that you saw that made you feel that you didn't have enough. All right. So you hear what I'm saying? There was something that you saw that made you feel that you didn't have enough. So what you have to do is see something different, feel something different, and think something different. This is like a science. This is like a mathematics. You can change your view on things and change your perception on things. That will change your reality, and that will change your life, and that will change your world. So that way you could go out into the world and be the type of person that you know you can be, because deep down inside you know you could be a different kind of person, because when you looked at the situation, you told yourself, well, I should have handled it like this. Could have handled it like this, instead of could, should, would. You can take that same energy and reprogram your mind to where those types of things won't go down no more, to where you'll be the brave person, the courageous person, the strong-minded person, the person who won't let people treat them a way to where they don't want to be treated. You have the power to not let people treat you how you don't want to be treated. You have the power to speak up for yourself. You have the power to stand up for yourself. Doesn't mean you have to get confrontational. Doesn't mean you have to get into any fights. It may be some verbal confrontation, but you have to see yourself as the person who can handle anything and everything. It's all about how you see yourself. The people who tried you, they saw you a certain type of way, and you may have believed them because of things from your past or experiences that you had previously. So because of other past experiences of you not seeing yourself a certain way or viewing yourself a certain way, there are certain people who take advantage of that. All right. That's the only way somebody can bully you. That's the only way somebody can mistreat you, is by them looking at you and seeing that you don't see yourself a certain way. Because whoever's bullying you, they see themselves a certain way. And that's the only reason why they tried you in the first place. That's the only reason why these people tried to come at you in the first place, is because they saw you a certain way. They said, you know what? I can get this off on this person. You have to view yourself as, no, you cannot get this off on me. I won't let you. That's really how you have to view yourself. So it's going to take some work. It's going to take some practice. But once you start working on your mind, once you start telling yourself different things about yourself, once you start thinking different things about yourself, you will become the person that you want to be. Because that's what this channel is all about. Letting go of things, becoming the person that you want to be. So that way you can do the things you want to do, have the things you want to have, and be the person that you want to be. All right. So there are going to be things that try you. There are going to be people who think they can come into your life and handle you however they want. That's not going to go anywhere. The thing is, you have to be brave. You have to be strong minded. You have to be a strong person to where you see yourself as, you know what, that's not going to happen. You may think that, but that's not the type of person that I am. That's not the type of person that I am. I'm not going to let that happen. You may have thought that was going to happen, but I'm not going to let that happen. So I'm not sure what you're going to do from here, but I know that I'm not going to let that happen. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say, because I'm not entertaining what you think. I'm not listening to what you say. I'm not worried about you at all, because I know that there's something within me. God put it in me, and I'm going to believe God. I'm going to believe in God, and I'm going to believe in the God in me. And this is all real. This isn't just things that you could say. This is something that you can do. This is a person that you can be. You have the power to be this. You can decide right here and right now. You know what? I'm done. I'm not letting, I forgive myself for how I let people treat me in the past. I forgive myself for how I let things go in the past, but I'm not going to be that person anymore. So once you forgive yourself, once you get over certain things about yourself, you aren't going to have to necessarily involve these people in your life anymore as far as thinking about what happened. You could cut them out of it. You could leave them out of it. You don't have to deal with them anymore. So that way, instead of dealing with the situation from a traumatic point of view to where it's just one big cycle, one big loop to where you're stuck, you deal with yourself, you're empowering yourself, and now you're beginning to see yourself different as somebody that's victorious, somebody that can handle situations, someone that stands up for themselves, someone that believes in themselves, instead of having other people just walk all over you, take advantage of you, and you just lay down and die, because that's not how you have to live your life. All right, there may have been things or trauma or whatever happened in your past to where your courage was taken from you or beaten down, or you may have been programmed to think from what happened that you don't have the ability to be that type of person, but you do. You really honestly do. All right, so pray about it, talk to God about it, visualize yourself, see yourself as someone that just does not let people deal with them any kind of way, because you don't have to do that. All right, it doesn't matter the person's size, it doesn't matter who the person is, it doesn't matter where they're from. None of those things take place. Those are all your thoughts. Those are things that aren't real. None of that's real. I need you to understand that none of that's real. All that is just like the Matrix. Those are things outside of you that aren't real. The only thing that's real is what's inside of you and what you tell yourself. What you feel isn't real. Only thing that's real is what you tell yourself and how you want to feel and what you want to be, and the type of person you want to be, and the type of things you want to do with your life. That's the only thing that's real. Those are the only things that matter. So it may take some work, it may take some time, but you can do that and you can grasp those concepts. All right. You have to see yourself as the one. So whatever problems you're dealing with, see yourself as not dealing with those problems. And just like the video I made the other day, your divine mind has no problems. All right, whatever you're dealing with, if you deal from it from a point of view of your divine mind, answers will flow to you. All right, the divine mind will connect you to the amount of courage that you need, the amount of strength that you need. This isn't just something that I'm saying. This isn't just something that I'm saying to make a video. This is real. All right, this is real. So for people who have dealt with certain things that I've talked about in my videos in the past, this is that video right here that you need. All right, because this video right here will get you up to speed. This video will have you believing in yourself and acting the right way, being the right kind of person that you want to be. All right, because we all want to just be respected, and we all just want to have the life that we want, and we all just want to be the person that deep down inside we know we can be. So that person that you know you can be deep down inside, you need to get a hold of that feeling that you are already that person. All right, there's nothing to wait for. There's nothing that you need to wait for to happen. There's no big cataclysm or big thing that you need to happen. You need to feel yourself as that person and see yourself as that person. That's it. You feel yourself as the person that doesn't take no mess. You see yourself as the person that doesn't take no mess. It doesn't mean you got to go and fight everybody. It doesn't mean you have to go be verbal with everybody. It doesn't mean you got to step to every person that you see that tries to cause you issues or whatever. You don't even, a lot of these situations, you won't even have to talk to the people. You could just walk past them, walk away from them, just not deal with them. And the harder that they try, the more it's really going to get on your nerves, and the easier it is for you is going to be for you to turn that anger into strength and a positive attitude, to where You just don't let things happen as they used to. All right. You're no longer the person that you used to be if you don't see yourself as that person. All right. Those people may have been able to get that off on you in your past, but don't hold yourself accountable. Forgive yourself. All right. The only person that you need to hold accountable is that new version of you. You know what? This is me. This is the person that I want to be. This is how I see myself. This is the person that I'm rocking with. This is the new me. All right. And that's all it is. You have to become the person that you want to be by seeing yourself as already being that person. See yourself as already being the person that's not going to allow anybody to just come into your life and deal with you any kind of way, because that's not what you want. All right. You yourself wouldn't treat anybody like that. So you shouldn't let anyone treat you like that. And you don't have to. All right. You don't have to. Maybe you have some fight or flight that you have to deal with. Maybe you have some freeze responses that you have to deal with, but you see yourself as not being that no more. I don't freeze. I don't have no fight or flight response. I see myself as somebody that just handles the situation however I have to handle it. All right. I'm not telling you to, of course, I'm not telling you to go out and to cause any problems for yourself or to get into any altercation, but you have the power to be the type of person that you want to be. And you have the power to handle every situation that you want to. You have the strength to do that. And there's nothing that can stop you from becoming that person except you and your own mind. All right, people, because of things that happened previously, people don't think that they're that kind of person. Just because you went through something and just because some things happened that you would prefer that didn't happen that way, it doesn't mean that those things have to keep happening. It doesn't mean that you have to keep being that person. You have the power to change. Everybody has the power to change. That's what power is about. That's what change is about. You have the power to change and be and do whatever you want. Doesn't mean you have to go harm somebody. You don't got to be the biggest, most toughest, roughest person to be that way. All right. They like certain people, they overthink things. Certain people, they may overanalyze things. You don't got to overthink everything. You don't have to overanalyze everything because some things just aren't that deep. All right. Some things is just you handle it and that's it, because of people in your past, because of how you grew up, because of maybe some abuse when you were younger or whatever, maybe when you couldn't stand up for yourself and certain adults or certain people talked to you a certain way or treated you a certain way, or maybe didn't handle the situation the best way possible. Maybe you have some negative effects from childhood or whatever, but you're not a child no more. You're an adult. You're a grown person. You can handle yourself. You can take care of yourself. You can do everything that you need to do for yourself by yourself. All right. You don't have to just stand there and let anything happen. When you were a child, maybe you just stood there and let things happen because you didn't have any choice. So maybe that's how you have been programmed, and maybe that's how you looked at toxic situations. Maybe that's how you look at confrontational situations. All right, when you were a child and you didn't know any better and you had to deal with confrontation and there was a whole grown adult in your face, maybe you just had to stand there and deal with it and take it. But as a grown person, you don't have to do that anymore. So you have to work on yourself. You got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive that child that's still in you. And you got to tell that person and talk to that person that's inside of you and say, yo, we can handle things differently. We don't have to handle things like that anymore. We don't have to handle things from a position of weakness. We don't got to handle things from a position of being afraid. We don't got to handle situations from a position of being scared. We don't have to handle position things from a position of thinking that there's nothing we can do. There is something you can do, and that something you can do is stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, and not let things happen that you don't want to happen. There's all types of negative, corrupt people out here, but they have another thing coming if they think they're going to bring that your way. And that's what you have to tell yourself, and that's what you have to believe about yourself. And you have to see yourself as being able to stand up to any kind of person out there. All right, you envision yourself dealing with the most toughest, most scariest, most hardest person out there, and you still see yourself standing up to that person. And that's what you practice with your mind. All right. Once you get that through to yourself and your own mind, the world is not going to be as what it was. All right, the world's not going to be as hard as it was. You're going to be able to say what you need to say to whoever, to wherever, anytime, all times. That's really all you have to do, because at some point or another, growing up, there was someone or some adult or some family member or some brother or some sister or some parent or whatever situation, some teacher, some kid or something that made you feel that I can't stand up for myself, I can't speak up for myself, I can't handle myself. And you can. So what you have to do is do that visualization practice that I just gave you. You see yourself standing up to somebody that is the toughest, hardest, most scariest person that you could ever imagine. And you see yourself standing tall. You see yourself speaking up for yourself. You see yourself saying what you need to say. You see yourself setting boundaries. You see yourself not letting what they're trying to do happen, whether they're trying to bully you, whether they're trying to get on your nerves, whether they're trying to make you react, whether they're trying to put fear in you. You see yourself handling it how you would want to handle it, and you go from there. And when you go out into the real world and deal with people, that's going to give you a sense of power, and that's going to give you a sense of strength, and it's going to give you a new idea about yourself. All right, that like this practice works, and you practice it, you practice it, you practice it, you practice it, you practice it until it doesn't become a problem for you anymore. And that way you can become the person that you always knew you could be, because deep down inside, if you have that feeling, you know it's right, and you know what I'm saying is right, and you know what I'm saying is true. That way nobody will be able to bully you no more. Nobody will be able to handle you any kind of way anymore. Everybody is at a different level of life, and everybody, whether they know it or not, has did this in some kind of way or fashion. All right, whether they did it right then and there on the spot, or whether they did it like I'm talking to you about it right now. It doesn't make them any better than you. It doesn't make you any lesser than them. All that matters is that you take control of your mind, and you don't let these things happen to you this time, that time, or any time. And on top of that, you forgive yourself for the things that happened in the past, because you didn't know any better. You can't blame yourself for the things that happened when you didn't have the tools, when you didn't know what to do. You're beating yourself up, and you're doing yourself a huge disservice to when you allow things to get you down, because you're putting yourself down for it. And that's the only way anybody can put you down for anything, is if you put yourself down for it first. So you don't have to go out into the world and try to be no tough person. You don't have to go out into the world and try to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to go out into the world and I'm not afraid, I'm not scared, I'm not. You don't have to do that. All right, like unfortunately this condition, or whatever this is called, will have you feeling like it will have you looking for a fight. It will have you taking situations more seriously than they really are, because it'll have you feeling like you need to make up for something because you're missing something. But that thing that you're missing, you're not going to get it from out there. That thing that you're missing, you're not going to get it from starting trouble with other people. You're not going to get it from winning fights. You're not going to get it from starting fights. You're not going to get it from trying to make other people see you a certain way or think about you a certain way. The only person that has to see you a certain way, the only person that has to think about you a certain way, the only person that has to feel about you a certain way is you. And that's why you do this practice. All right. See, you see the most hardest, most toughest, whatever person out there. All right. Picture somebody that would make you feel afraid, and see yourself standing up to them right now, right after this video. And I guarantee it, man, you won't have the same problems that you had with people before. You don't even have to get into no fights with nobody. All right. It takes more power and more strength to stand up to somebody, tell them what they're not going to do, and you just walk away and not have any negative feelings towards them or what happened. That's what's happening. That's where the real power and the real strength is at. That's what the real gangsters do. Real gangsters stand up to people, and they like, yo, I'm not worried about you. That's not gonna happen. I'm going my separate way, and you're not gonna bother me, and you're gonna leave me alone. That's what the real stuff is. Those are the people who really get left alone and don't get bothered, because you do this practice, and if anybody bothers you after that, Start praying for them. Right then and there, start praying for them. Start praying. God, please allow me to get over this situation and move past this situation. Because at that point, man, you already know. We don't even got to get into it, because it's nothing you're trying to prove to nobody. Is You're not trying to make yourself out to be somebody that you're not. All you want to be is who you are, and you can become who you want to be and be that person, and that'll be who you are. But you got to do it this way. You can't do it outside. You can't do it outside of yourself. You have to do it within yourself. All right, there's certain situations that made you feel like you couldn't handle yourself because there were certain people who appeared that they were more powerful than you, or stronger than you, or bigger than you, or badder than you, and that's okay. But you leave those people in the past. If you want to, you could even use one of those persons and see yourself standing up to that person. And that's another thing. That's why they show people going back in time in movies. It's not a time machine, it's a mind machine. You can go back in time no matter what happened to you and see yourself standing up to the person who tried to cause you some type of pain, some type of hurt, some type of psychological abuse, some type of physical abuse. You could see yourself standing up to that person, and you could see yourself not letting it happen. And it's not going to change what happened in the past, but it'll change how you feel about yourself. It'll change how you look at that situation. It'll change how you handle situations in the future, and it'll give you that bravery, that courage, and that strength that you're looking for, to the point to where you won't even have to pray about it, because what you're praying for, God already gave it to you. That's why a lot of people's prayers go unanswered, and that's why a lot of people feel that God isn't hearing them. Even if your prayer does get answered, all God is doing is leading you to what's already within you. So if you're going to pray, ask God to show you, ask God to allow you to find and cultivate and dig up and uncover and dust off what's already within you, because you already he can't give you nothing else. You already have everything that you need. This might be my most powerful video right here. All right, share this video, watch this video over and over and over and over again. Do this practice over and over and over and over again. All right. You do this until you feel right about yourself, until you feel confident about yourself, until you have the right idea about yourself. All right. You won't even, it's certain things you won't even have to learn if you bring yourself to this level, because it's just going to come out of you naturally. All right. People, it's just going like you, and people don't even exist when you work on yourself like this. When you forgive yourself, when you X people out of it, when you work on your own mind, who cares about them? They don't even matter, because they never mattered in the first place. It's all about you. Uh, 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 it's all about you. That way you're not even concerned about them. Other people aren't even a problem. All right, this is going to eliminate people's PTSD. This is going to help people get over certain things that cause them complex PTSD. All right, if you have certain situations that you went through, the problem keeps circulating in your mind, and you wish you could have did this, you wish you could have did that. This is going to eliminate all of that, and you're not going to have those problems anymore to where you wish you could have, because you're going to be the person that loves themselves enough to do this. So that way, when you deal with other people, you're going to be dealing from them from a position of power, from a position of being a survivor, from a position of being victorious, from a position of strength, from a position of mental fortitude. All right, from being a tough minded person. All right, and you can't be tough out here on the outside unless you're tough in here. Everybody be trying to, that's being tough on the outside. The real person, the real strength is in here. The real toughness is in here. Your mind is a muscle, so use it, exercise it, and exercise this technique I just dropped on you. Nothing but jewels in this video. Play this video over and over and over and over until you get it right. All right, I guarantee you, it will bring you more peace around other people. All right, it will You won't be afraid of people. It'll bring you more strength, more courage. You'll be confident. You'll be able to have friends now. You'll be able to trust people because you'll trust yourself. That's why a lot of people can't trust people and don't trust people, is because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust their ability. They don't have no trust within. If you don't have no trust within, you're not gonna have no trust without. If you don't have no enemies within, you're not gonna have no enemies without. So make sure you have trust within, and make sure that you don't have no enemy within. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash that like button, smash the share button. I love you, 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 I love you. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless, peace, love, and light. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the GCVs, the Galactic Family, and Drew Nation. We out, baby. Peace, love, and light again.